Let me explain to you how this really is supposed to work. Because I don't care how it works. I am not a lawyer, do not take what I say as advice. However, I can inform you about human rights that they are violating. So, protected by law shields from being sued for content posted by its users. This part refers to, well, we don't share the opinions of the people who post on our platform. So if they fuck up, it's on them. This makes sense. I'm not having a problem with that. Limited exceptions. There are limited circumstances where the platform might be held liable, such as negligence in moderating harmful content, specific violations in privacy laws, and this is uncommon user-generated for user-generated posts. In the opposite case, okay, let me explain to you the problem with the limited exceptions. First of all, I have been on Facebook and they have said to me in a notification that something I sent or my account sent was of a certain type of thing, and it totally wasn't. And if they reviewed the thing I was accused of sending, that is how do I put this into words? The nature of the thing that they have detected accusing me of sending something of a horrifying nature is benign. The true nature of the thing was women's wrestling. It had nothing to do with sex, had nothing to do with nudity, had nothing to do with children. It was women staying clothed in a bar, in a regulated boxing ring, and they did wrestling. Now, it can be considered a copyright issue, however, or a but it's nothing that you couldn't put on YouTube or Facebook. So when I tried sending it in a group chat, it failed to send, and I didn't know why. It was because it was somehow auto-flagged to being CSE. And I'm not saying what that is. So I would state that within their own system, Facebook has done defamation against my account. It only refers to them and their handling of my account. However, it affects me because if there are enough of those mistakes, I can end up losing my account for no reason. And how many connections to other people can I end up losing? Not to mention things like the example of what if someone has an object on Facebook Marketplace and it had a value and Facebook just decides to not actually go through with the payment system. They receive payment, but they won't actually send it to me type thing, or the person doing the selling. That idea makes Facebook possibly liable for wrongful damages if any of this becomes something worse. And they already have some other mistake that they've made back in December of 2024, so I don't want to hear it. Right now, it is 2025 September, or October, I should say. And that's obvious by the timestamp of this live stream. You see, the defamation function of harmful, public, and publicly available, you might have grounds to sue the person who posted for defamation. Well, I don't know about you, but interpersonal within their own system false accusations is a type of defamation. And when that kind of thing is freaking CSE, that type of thing could possibly end up going to court. And I will sue them for everything they're worth if it went to court. Because they are the ones who planted that lie in my account. And they will be liable for every bit of damages that they will end up causing if I lose my account due to something like this. Or if it affects me to be, for example, unable to contact certain people's damages within my business, if I have one which is irrelevant to the whole thing. It's the fact. Reporting fake reviews. Interesting that you can report that that reviews you believe to be fake or fraudulent. There was a picture that I posted about horse bun. It is a horse. It looks like a horse. It's made by a bunch of buns. And it could have been made by AI. And it was said to be fake news or fake information. And it was flagged. And that's something that actually happened. One, it's a horse made out of buns. I thought it was neat. I don't care how it was made. I don't care what's associated with it. It's like how Sonic could be associated with Nazis and people still like Sonic because idiots can make stupid pictures of Sonic as a Nazi, but that doesn't make him actually a Nazi. And it's that kind of bullshit that's like, oh, well, it's somehow associated with this and that other thing. You could get in trouble if you don't have all these bits of information. I don't think so. Everyone is capable of poisoning every piece of information, and it doesn't matter. It matters what I have done, what I have said, what I have posted, and what they... In this case, it wasn't even people who reported the video. It was an auto-detect. Because the video was 8 minutes long, it auto-detect and it flagged it as just being too much for the system to handle or something. So they decided to make it something like freaking CSE, and it's not. And that kind of thing, that kind of lie, is the same kind of lie that YouTube did towards me in my previous channel, where they said that there was something wrong with one of my videos, and then after the appeal to check if there was something wrong with the video, they respond back, well, there isn't this other thing, a separate thing. It's like saying, we reported you for socks with sandals, and with their appeal letter, they said, oh, we didn't find grape juice in your video. I'm sorry, That wasn't the issue, now was it, mother fricker? No. So, YouTube should not be allowed to give a false reasoning for restoring or removing a video, especially to the point of saying it might have this or that inside of it, which has nothing to do with the video itself. Similarly, Facebook, oh, by the way, request for renew, reporting content that may lead to reporting the content may lead to it being removed without a lawsuit. Well, that's not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about information within the Facebook framework itself, and there is no way to report anything about it. And don't tell me there is, because there isn't. Because I checked. There is a button called Take Action. You're supposed to be able to appeal something like this, because an accusation of any kind needs to be able to be challenged, because it is 100%, and I will claim this in court, a false accusation against the video. I don't know how the hell they think that they can do that and not have some kind of oversight. And there is no oversight board. It doesn't exist. There are ways to sue the platform, but there must be more. There has to be more ways to sue Facebook. Communications Decency Act can go off a bridge, because if you have damaging stuff about a person, and for example, and even if there was something there, it doesn't mean, like, pretend that there is something about peanut butter there, and that's a crime, apparently. But let's say there's something about peanut butter, right? Just a stupid example of, doesn't matter. The point is, saying that I posted something about peanut butter anywhere, in private chat, in group chats, in public posts that are able to be seen by everyone, first of all, you have to confirm whether I myself made the post. And unless you confirm that, and it's only hearsay, but you should be able to make an argument to say, no, I did not make that post. Someone else was borrowing my phone, or they stole my phone, or they accessed it because of all the data leaks that you have. You should be able to make an appeal. There is no appeal process in Facebook. It does not exist. The literal appeal system is broken. It is 0% existent. The only thing you can do is report bugs, and Lord knows they might not even check those. And you can try tweeting about it, but good luck having that happen. YouTube, equally neglectful, equally liable for damages against my 6,000 video. I made 6,000 videos in my old channel. You have to understand, I worked from 2014 to 2023, 9 years, making 6,000 videos of all sorts of over 200 different games, easily. Not just Minecraft, I made games about Stardew Valley and um, uh, that Granny game, or freaking Splitgate and Trackmania, and I don't know, I have a lot of games that I have played over the years. Games on my phone like Assembly Line or just Clash Royale. And all that happened for that entire 9 years of my time there, I made videos that were possibly boring, but the most of them that were entertaining are just me actually playing the game. There is no fault in my original channel. And yet, YouTube is still going to remove my Gmail that is associated with that original YouTube channel in 2026. They are liable for every bit of damages. Over 6,000 videos, over 500 subscribers. I had 800 subscribers. I was so close to the normal requirements for ad revenue, and then they changed the ad revenue to go to 500. It was a slap to the face. And then they looked at all my private videos and my public videos, and for some reason YouTube decides that they are going to immediately just destroy my channel if I make one mistake. And the only mistake that I ever made on my channel was I ended a live stream, and somehow one of my devices restarted the live stream. Stuff was on there. I am not responsible for that because I was not made aware that it would actually activate. I had no clue that the live stream was active. I'm not confirming at all whether or not I was in possession of the device at the time even. So it could have been anyone doing that. And I have a complex password, so it's not easy for them to get in there. But the point is, the moment I found out about the live stream happening, it was 4 hours after it started, and I was mortified. I immediately stopped that live stream, and I made it private. I should have deleted it, because the moment that it was checked, they were like, oh, something horrifying happened on that live stream. One live stream out of 6,000. One that I'm not responsible for. Whatever was seen in that live stream has nothing to do with anything that I am responsible for. And yet, they judge my account. And I tried to explain, on Twitter, and the people on Twitter are lazy, and all they said was, oh, we checked, and they are sure there was stuff on your account. You have to understand, I will need to sue YouTube for wrongful damages the moment that account is removed. Because at that point, they can't save themselves. I should sue them already because YouTube has the audacity to say that what I did was, one, my responsibility and my fault, and two, it was something that was horrifying, and also removing my Gmail associated with the account over a year later. There's no reason for that. Removing my ability to access my main Gmail account is my passwords. It is my ability to use a lot of things. It's not trivial. And again, it's about people claiming that there's some bullshit on my account. And that never happened. And just like now, false accusation, and it's all internal. No one's really made aware of this. The only reason anyone knows about it is because I'm speaking up. Negligence in moderating harmful content or specific violations of privacy laws. You realize there are more edge cases than that. First of all, is it a false claim against the video? Is it even remotely what you assume it is? Right? Are your accusations valid? You have to come to grips with that. And two, even if your accusations are valid, does that actually reflect myself? Or whatever case, whoever it is, does it reflect that actions of the individual themselves? And in the case that I'm bothered about right now, because it's just a video about women wrestling. It's not like oil wrestling or anything. It's public. It's not 18 plus First Media. They're in costumes that are fully clothed. And they're women. It's an outrage. Look, you can have an idea of a cease and desist because of, like, likenesses or something, but you don't go as far to say there's freaking some horrible thing in the video, like someone got slaughtered or someone got robbed or whatever the hell you want to think. There's nothing like that in the video. So Facebook needs to be liable for their own choices. And the problem is, it's an automated system. It's assumed that it's perfect. And the amount of people actually running Facebook are so limited that they don't check things correctly, properly, thoroughly, and they have the ability to have even volunteers would be better than nothing. Genuinely. Like, you could get doctors involved to be like, okay, I will be the one to manually review this video to check if my patient has done anything wrong according to this, and it can become a liability thing and whatever else then even something against me. But this is me innocent and you making an issue. So why do I need to sue them about it? What have they actually done? Well, they've locked my account for 7 days. They've stopped me from being able to post things for a certain amount of time. And what is more is that subsequent mistakes like this can lead to them flagging my account as being something horrible to other websites. We can only assume that they're doing that. Because if you're connected to Instagram with your account, then they'll screw you over there. It's the same company, but it's not at all the same infrastructure. Instagram has far better infrastructure, and I follow those rules 100%. And I enforce and I tell my friends to be more smart about their choices, and they end up making mistakes and they end up getting hurt. And that's because they screwed up. But I didn't screw up. And I tell them, don't get mad at the system if you broke the system's rules. And so, equally, if they actually hurt you and you didn't do anything wrong, I want to be on your side. And if I was a legal team, I would say, I am going to be there for you, speak up on your behalf with examples of all the different ways that if it went wrong, then I can say, yeah, you know what? It could have been this, it could have been that, it could have been a lot of things. There's a lot of ways that you can absolutely not continue to have this kind of accusation against this or that person, my client. Because I would protect you or anyone from any falsehood. Especially when just by simply reviewing the video proves innocence. I'm sorry, that's called, what's the word? Negligence on their part. So they are liable. And I'm making this video because in anticipation of Facebook possibly removing my account, I warned you. Please understand, if you remove my account for things that you falsely flag because your system is automated, I mean, who the hell can look at an 8-minute video and flag it within 2 seconds? It doesn't work that way. It's an automated process. And how did they even... Why would they even... The only way that they flagged it immediately, it's just a long video. It's nothing more simple than... It's nothing more complex than that. It's just the fact that it was a long video and it was automatically flagged. You could send anything and it would be... And it's not that it's flagged if you send it to individual people, because I was able to achieve that. And those are not removed. So there's proof out there of what the video is, and other people can look at it themselves and prove me innocent as well. So I have witnesses out there that can prove me innocent. So there's a deep problem in Facebook. It needs to not be super automated. It needs to still have the people involved. It needs to have the ability to appeal. Every case, especially the hard issues cases, need to be able to be appealed. And special situations and circumstances must be considered, or they are causing damage, and they are liable for the damages that they do cause, and they can be held accountable for any amount. And it doesn't matter if it's just a simple ability to access the Facebook account or utilize the functions such as liking a picture or a comment, or making a comment, posting a picture or video, posting links, talking to people on Messenger. Any of the functions on Facebook, any restriction made against a person's account that is based off of an accusation and that accusation is not based on reality, it's completely fake. There's a reason there's wording like don't bear false witness. Even amongst yourselves. I know there has to be legal wording about how, yeah, if someone does a false claim, oh, I shouldn't be complaining, my account still exists. Says you. It doesn't matter. It's about the danger that it sets as a precedent. That if these kinds of errors continue, I don't even know if I can share things to people. I'm not safe on Facebook. You're not safe on Facebook. They will false report you. They will hurt your account even if you did nothing wrong. They will make you lose your friendships. They'll make you be seen as someone who's horrible when you're not. Most likely. Because anyone who loses their account on Facebook must have done something horrible, because no one's going to immediately assume, oh, you definitely are a victim of Facebook abusing, even though that is what is the percentage of mistakes that Facebook makes because of its automated system, because of admin oversight and failure to do the right thing and make sure that whatever is reported is actually correctly reported? There are so many times where you can report someone for being harassing and Facebook will say, we didn't find them to be harassing. And then if it happens a certain number of times, their account is gone. And I've seen that happen. And I hate it. First of all, I don't want their account to be gone. I want people to be doing the right things. Losing their account doesn't help that. They're just going to make another one. There needs to be more communication with the person to try to help them make good choices. And there has to be more communication with them to allow them to plead their case. Oh, well, we can't make a big issue about every little report that was sent against, but it's not even reports that a person sent. It's an automated system that falsely reported a video. Right? Or what's with the idea of a picture can become too high resolution to render? That's not how this works. You can send videos that are like certain length. How can a picture be too high resolution? Right? Is it so high resolution that you can't make it work on a phone? That's a programming issue. You got to deal with that. And that's just a minor, that's an actual just simple minor gripe. It doesn't matter. The intensity of that argument is like, okay, so you have stupid programming. That's not horrifying. That's not horrible. But damaging a person's reputation within the system when they didn't do anything wrong, you're liable for that still. Again, there is a stupid process in YouTube where if you have 3 strikes, well, what if, and this has happened, a policy changes and updates, and then everything that you have ever posted or not posted is automatically scanned, and then you end up with a massive set of reports that it doesn't take into account what would have happened if you actually properly scanned in the first place. Would you have found it early? Would that only be 1 strike? And then would that not... that would have triggered the person to make better choices, and then no subsequent errors would ever happen. For example, saying the word clanker needs to be reportable. Get that off of... Be sure to note that me saying that word is an example of it should not be said. Or should I just say the C word for robots and bleep that part out? Because stop it. It's a slur. You're not supposed to be using slurs. There are so many slurs used by so many people. It shouldn't be like that. But it is. You end up watching certain YouTube people, and they're okay with listening to people saying certain slurs, and I end up wanting to unsubscribe, and I cannot share those videos to any of my friends because they will be appalled by the use of slurs. Just because it, 1, wasn't edited out, wasn't bleeped out, or 2, it was just too many in any given video by, I don't know, whoever the hell makes a reaction video of whatever the heck thing. I'm sorry, but you have a responsibility to make sure that there are not slurs in your videos. And every time that there is a slur, it needs to be understood that you need to, 1, give them warnings, give them time to be able, or just say, hey, we've detected the slurs in your video. We're going to automatically bleep those out so that we can protect other people from hearing that bullshit. No one needs to say the N-word. Take it out of the vocabulary of the entire world. I don't care if black people are okay with that word. Stop saying it. It's not tolerable anymore. It never should have been tolerable. I don't care. And maybe I'm extreme for saying something like that. But would it be that hard for you to just remove it from your vocabulary? Everyone. Take the robot C word and get it out of your head. Take that N word, get it out of your head. Right? And don't replace it with something else like chocolate or gearhead or whatever the hell you want to say. Don't replace destructive, negative, connotations. Don't use slurs. Oh, and people who are dark skinned, whatever, African American, and that saying, "Oh, it's our word. You're not allowed to say it." I'm sorry, that's more racist. That's you being racist against everyone else in humanity for saying a word that people aren't supposed to say in the first place, but you're allowed to say it. I have seen movies that say the N-word, and I don't like those movies simply because they include the word. I don't care if it's the shortened version of it. I don't care if it's a bleeped version of it. Don't use it. We would be a lot better off if you just not use it at all. Any old movie, bleep it out. Any new movie, lose your job if you put it in the movie. Every single person. I don't care if you're Samuel L. Jackson, lose your job if you put a slur in a movie. I don't care if it's a type of example of what we shouldn't do. Stop it. Think. These examples don't need to exist. It is not something that you're actually needing to keep in society. Stop. There's no need to perpetuate it. There's no need to continue to make movies that include examples of a past or even a present issue. Make the example that we don't say it. Is the Klingon word patak a bad thing? From what I remember, I think it just means stupid. There's a difference there. You're allowed to comment on someone's stupidity, right? You're not allowed to say someone is a lesser being or whatever. There should be a zero tolerance across the board. Anyone saying it should be indicted, like freaking charged with verbal harassment or whatever. And I don't care if the charge is like a $5 swear jar or something that will actually give them a good reason to not say that word or whatever other word that people end up making up. If we have the ability to control it, we shouldn't have those words. Then again, I'm also against the idea of the theory of relativity or special relativity. One of them is wrong. Don't get me started on that. The idea that people at different speeds notice things happening at different times, can't consolidate when or where it happened, is just bad computing. And back then they were allowed to say that because they didn't have good computing. They don't have the right to say it anymore because we have better computing. So I don't want people saying stuff like time dilation or space-time curvature or time dilation. There are certain things like there are so many things, even simple things like there was a debate, there was a whole thing about blue and black dress, right? Where is it? That's neat. There was this whole thing about blue and black dress. I saw it recently. Where the hell is it? Oh god, I can't remember. Yeah, I watch a lot of stuff. Okay, Saitama. Um, I can't find it. It doesn't matter. It was Kurzgesagt. It was something about the blue and black dress. Or specifically, I could just refer to... Oh, there it is. The cold brain and all of that implies. In that video, I talk about how nope, that's not the video I'm referring to. The illusion. Okay, they got this whole thing about the color of the dress wrong. I made a short video, I made a long video. Here's the thing, okay? The reason why some people said black and gold, black and blue versus white and gold was how you assume a color is in yellow filter versus how you assume it is in a blue filter. People assumed that the dress was in a blue filter, but it was actually a yellow filter. And the difference is the reality is shifted a bit. So what is blue and black was seen as yellowy and gold. But that's an illusion. Kurzgesagt made the mistake of saying, oh, are the colors that we see the same from one person to another? And it does not work that way. You can't just say that the logic center of the brain that says, oh, I assume this is in a blue hue, so therefore I assume and I see that if you were to put it into the real lighting, which is just straight, no filter lighting, you think the actual color is blue and black because you assume yellow filter. The reason people thought it was white and gold wasn't because their brains were receiving and processing the colors as different actual colors, so they would have seen this difference throughout all of their life. It was a situation of it looked like it was dark, but instead of being dark, there was a whole light sheen about it. It's a whole thing. This stupid thing. And when you see it for real, let me see that. When you see this, you can tell it's actually blue and black, and there's yellow that is shining on it. So it looks more like it's maybe a bluer light is shining on black and gold. That's the same stuff that happens with your brain of if it's this situation, it must be this color set. And if it's the other situation, it's the other color set. That's the logic center. But for some reason, Kurzgesagt made that mistake. And the way my brain interprets what they did, Kurzgesagt, you have to understand, when you said this, okay, in your video, okay, so mind as, is this a names for some of them? It's unlikely that we all see the saying whether or not we see the same color is like saying, do you actually see that the top bird is pink and the bottom bird is red or something, right? Okay. So the thing is, for people who have brains that process color differently, then their brains would maybe say, well, no, that bird isn't pink or whatever. But that is different than this dress. Everyone saw the same dress. Everyone saw the same colors. It wasn't the actual colors that we were seeing in the picture or the video of said dress, which is obvious when you actually look at the damn thing. But it was the fact that, and there were so many examples of how this is just an illusion. And how our brains can be like, is it this situation or is it the other situation? And that's different than people seeing different colors. Because we're seeing the same colors, we're coming to different conclusions. So the early part of it, where they're talking about how color works, if it's based on the dress, that is first of all, the dress is a solved problem. Their video is a recent video. That means this is neglect on their part to say the correct thing. Because it's catchy. Or because it's an oversight. You're not allowed to make those kinds of mistakes. As a science communicator with a team of people working with you, you're not allowed to say things like that because videos like this exist in tandem to yours. They were posted before yours was. You can know about this and you can be aware of the truth of the reality of the situation and not make these assumptions about people's brains and then make a reaction like this, which is just making me on edge about them. It's like, wait, are you trying to misdirect me, Kurzgesagt? I don't want to think that way about you. I just think that you saw something and were like, okay, maybe it's sort of similar, but it's not actually. But it's close enough to the point where it's like misinformation. Because you should know, I'm pretty sure you should know better. And it's like clickbaity. It's like um, bringing it up for the sake of making something that it's don't get me wrong, there are people with color blindness or color wheels in their head that is like, okay, they see this, but it actually shows up as something else. And if you were to describe it as like Kiki or Boba and stuff, and people are like, well, no, this seems more like, well, this dress is definitely giving Boba, at least around the hips. Kiki around the shoulders, but you know what I mean? Okay, this lamp is Kiki as fuck. I'm off topic. That's the usual thing about me. But it has to do with how easy it is to mislabel something. And this is a whole group of people who are professionals and somehow manage to mislabel something. And it's not that big of a deal when they did it, but when Facebook does it against me, it becomes easy to say, hey, if these guys can screw something up so simple of getting a basic piece of information wrong, you guys, with your automated systems, are more capable of making things happen wrong. And when you do it, you're liable for damages for every day that I can't access Facebook functions for whatever reason. Or any amount of function limitation that you put on me, you're causing damages. You're causing harm. You're causing, like, my inability to help my friends, my inability to gain help from my friends, which means I could have some kind of damage because I didn't have support one day because I didn't have the ability to reach out to somebody. Thankfully, you're not the only person in town. I can go to Discord, I can go to Instagram, I can go to Twitter, I can go to all sorts of websites. I don't need specifically Facebook to exist in order to contact the people that I care about. However, not everyone is out there available to other people. So those people I can't find and be able to contact because they don't have other social medias, you're damaging their lives and my life by making it so that I can't contact them because I'm not able to use Messenger for any amount of days, for any amount of hours. You make it look like I blocked them, and I didn't block them. Or you make it look like I'm ignoring them, and I'm not ignoring them. I don't have a choice. And also, because I can't post about it, I literally can't convey that I don't have a choice. It's like my hands are tied, and I can't say that my hands are tied. It's worse than being in Messenger limbo because I could at least make a post and say, hey, I'm sorry, about this, whatever else. Some idiot reported me, and I'll be back in a few days. And I'm usually able to say that. This time, I'm unable to say that. And I hate it. Because it's something I didn't actually do wrong. Kurtz gesagt, I love you guys, and I should have linked the exact thing that I made a response to about this, and I will probably need to do that. But yeah, no, it's important that people understand this dress has nothing to do with how your brain interprets color. It has to do with how your logic system assumes the scenario that you're looking at. And that has to do with experience. That's nothing to do with other stuff. So yeah, I don't want anyone bothering Kurzgesagt about this because minor mistake, they'll probably make a retraction saying, "Hey, we said it had to do with this and the other thing. We're actually going to say we're sorry about that. We realize although it is color theory and stuff related, it's a different entire section of the brain, and that kind of thing can be misinforming people somehow. And we apologize for that. It was not our intention to misrepresent the very basic scenario of how you can have the light on it and yeah, it'll look like that color and whatever else versus what it actually is and brains actually changing. Like a true example is the colorblind test, which is what they should have said. But they said the dress, and that got me upset. So, to full circle this, Facebook, you screwed up. This isn't the first time you screwed up. And I'm not going to leave. Because I want to help you become better. Here's a question. Would I want to force people to pay somehow for Facebook? I have no idea. I don't think that people paying money for the ability to use Facebook is a good idea. I think advertisements are fine. Some people have a issue with that, but I think advertisements are fine. And I think people should be able to appeal, and you should be accountable for any time that you make a mistake, and you should be more able to admit when you make a mistake, at least privately to the person, or when you remove a message, you should be able to show them that message and then be able to have them know, because I know that you used to do that, and for some reason, and it's a security issue, it's a safety and privacy act issue, that forced you to stop showing what you removed. But there should be some kind of, but there should be oversight. There should be ability to appeal anything. And if people then make a mistake and they continue to hold the account flagged with whatever you've reported them about, if it's a false flag, you should become liable to that. Liable about that. And you should be held accountable. And at that point, especially if any damages occurred, for example, like if you're selling something on Marketplace, and again, like basic example of that. Or if you remove someone's account and they put money into a game that they use their Facebook account to do, which you've done multiple times. You've removed people's Facebook accounts and they were playing a game and they put money into that game and they put money into that developer, and then you remove their hard-earned, it is rightfully their property. It's the same as if you were to go to their house and remove a poster that they bought at a convention, and you're going to say that that's not larceny or theft or destruction of private property. Eventually you will be found responsible for all sorts of these things. And it will be a class action lawsuit that I will get behind. Facebook owes us billions of dollars in damages that are wrongful. Not to mention the fact that the basic system of, can you send like sexy type stuff to your significant other in a private message? And the policy says, no, you can't. That's a human rights violation. You shouldn't have the ability to say that. Everyone consenting and everyone being okay with it and proper interest stuff. And if someone then turns around, uses that person's phone, reports it as them being sexually harassed or whatever else, or exploited or whatever, but that's a false report. And are the people able to say, hey, I made a mistake in a report at all? Once you make your report, it can't be undone ever. You can't say in any way, hey, I was in a mood and I screwed up and I reported something that I didn't mean to report. They didn't actually do anything wrong. Don't hurt them. There is no ability to report and say, this was a mistake on my part. So communication is very negative-sided for Facebook. There is no way to be positive towards Facebook about anything. All that they listen to, all they are capable of listening to, all they have set themselves up to listen to is the negative. Instead of saying, oh, we fixed everything. Or how about the idea of, hey, we are 100% sure that you're not friends with somebody. when I've literally been friends with them and they actually contact me on other social media, and then when I go to find them to be friends with them, and, well, they don't have any friends in common. That doesn't matter. You're not in charge of me. You're not in charge of them. If we are already friends and then you state we're not friends, that just sounds stupid. It's like you trying to say hey, look, there's a Pacific Ocean, right? Of course there isn't a Pacific Ocean. Not in my backyard. That's someone else's backyard. Or a different example is like saying KFC tastes good. You're not allowed to say that, Facebook. That's a joke. I like KFC. I do like KFC. Um, Even the stuff with the bones. Unless it's the stuff with the bones that have like the tiny shards of bones, which is the bad stuff that you don't and you should not be selling, stop being lazy. Holy crap. How do you get away with selling chicken bone shards in your meat? That's not supposed to be possible. Somehow there should be some kind of way to get the bone shards out. I'm not joking about it. Or like the shreddies, or the Raisin Bran. The off-brand Raisin Bran has stems in it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Selection. Your brand of Raisin Bran has the potential of having stems because they're not accurate with removing of stems. Is that a problem? Maybe not. But I've seen the pre-made boiled eggs. I have had shells inside of the pre-made boiled eggs because the shell removal process isn't thorough. It doesn't do a good enough job. So you can end up wanting to eat and swallow a whole pre-cooked boiled egg that you got from a plastic container wrap or whatever bag that it comes in. And that shit can have a shard in it. And that's dangerous because you don't want to once it's already a boiled egg, normally there are no eggshells. There is no way that you could have a problem with it. You just swallow that stuff. It's delicious. However, if it's dangerous to someone's health, holy crap, how can you sell that? How can that kind of oversight happen? All these edge cases need to be concerned, people. Raisin bran with the stems, eggshells in the boiled eggs, the pre-made boiled eggs. It's not okay. Right? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not as bad as that idiot who put lead in gasoline, knowing how bad lead is. Or whatever other issues that have happened. But, like, if you fail to make sure that your product is good for public uh, use in any way, if you have any kind of service where it can end up making a mistake and people get accused of nonsense and that kind of stuff leads to harm that happens in their life, psychological, physical damages, data loss, it doesn't matter. You're liable for it. Just like those people are liable for the boiled eggs. And that is dangerous. Holy shit, that's dangerous. No joke. It's a piece of eggshell. You can choke and you can get like a part of your throat ripped out because the egg you swallow it and then you're not aware that it has eggshell because you thought it had already been peeled, and it was like it embedded into a little piece of it, so like there's this little crack, and you if you're smart and you notice the little crack and then you notice the eggshell, you vomit it out because you're like, oh my god, I almost swallowed eggshell. It's traumatic just as much as you failing to check your AI, checking your ability to do the thing. This the amount of potential things that you can do wrong, Facebook, you need to be liable for it. There needs to be a bigger list. There needs to be more ways of, like, there's no actual way. Can I be sued for being honest on Facebook review? Post a negative review of a hotel. That's ridiculous. Holy crap. Get your shit together.